The alpha. Listen, gotta learn. Zebra's the man. Some of you guys know him. He's a really good dude. I basically met him last year at last year's convention. He went to my workshop. I hosted the first one. Is that loud enough for you guys? Yeah, I'm trying here. But him and 6 other guys took an original workshop at Project Orlando with myself and my roommate Slick. And we came on, like, I instantly noticed, like, this guy was pretty much up to par with me and Slick. We're doing, like pretty easily. Like, he's a cool dude right off the bat. He's fucking Sweden. Like, he flew in yesterday from Sweden with Swedish crowns and Swedish hair and whatever the fuck ever else he has. So, but he's a really good dude, a good friend of mine. Even though I've only hung out with him a little bit through the course of my life, he's a really good dude. I feel like I know him like a brother almost, you know? But I finalized a speech with him last night, went over it. He went over mine, helped each other out a lot. And I think you guys would be really impressed with what he has to say. And frankly, I'm excited to hear what he has to say myself again. So without further ado, Zebra, you guys. His name's Dejan. I can't even say it, man. It's like a good friend. I can't even say his name.
Dejan.
Dejan. Thanks, man. Good luck with everything.
Thanks a lot, man. All right, guys. You all excited? Yeah, we're about to go out, take care of this stuff in the field, right? You know, when Dream asked me to do this convention or make a speech, I was kind of like, man, there's going to be a lot of good people talking here. And, you know, how can I give value to these guys, something they can use, you know? I don't want to be like, hey, man, you got to attract the girl, and then after you attracted the girl, yeah, then you gotta comfort her or something like that, you know? it's my new Zebra M4 model, right? No, I remember when I was first starting out, the biggest thing for me was like the complete disconnect between the really good guy and then me, who wasn't very good. I just couldn't see, like, these guys would come up here and speak, and I'd be like, damn, man, that guy has it. His game is tight. But like me, I can't see myself doing that. Like he tells these crazy stories, right? And I'm like, I can't do that. Caveman, man, no. You know, it's scary, right? It's scary going out. And so, you know, I figured I wanted to talk about how you can get a set of like mental habits, a set of, you know, taking action, stuff like that every day that you can apply. That'll help you just, you know, take the stuff that you learn from speakers today, from forums, from books, stuff like that, and then how you can apply it so you actually see results. Because a little background on myself, I found the community, I'm 21 now. I found the community when I was 14. That's a long time, right? It's like 6, 7 years. When I was 14, my parents kicked me out of my house and they sent me to live in France to Dream doesn't like French people. To learn French or whatever. I don't know. They wanted me to become a better person or to grow. And I was 14 at the time. They sent me out, and this is the first time that I went out. I was like, whoa, women, like alcohol, awesome parties, and I was like lights everywhere. It was going crazy, right? And I meet this girl. She's 16, and I fall in love, right? The summer flame. And she's being nice to me, right? And I feel like the pimp of the world because, you know, chick is into me, right? She's saying hi to me. Obviously, she likes me. And I end up going for it, right? I end up making the move, started making out with her. And she's like, oh, yeah, cool. Listen, I got to go, but I'll see you tomorrow, right? Okay? I'm like, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I got this girl. Cool. Like, in my head, I was like, yeah, this is down. And I end up telling everybody that we hooked up, that we made out. Yeah, let me tell you, she wasn't all that into me. She was being friendly to me. We were friends, and I ended up looking like a douchebag in front of everyone. All right. It was pretty painful because I built myself up like, yeah, I'm this like player, awesome. I can get wherever I want, and then all of a sudden, all these people are just like giggling about me behind my back, and I was like, damn, it hurt. Like it hurt a lot, and that's when I decided, you know what, like having no control over your emotions like this, like somebody else being able to completely crush you on this sort of emotional level, that's complete crap, and I will have none of it. So I go home, and like so many of you guys, I am guessing, I Google, you know, whatever, pickup, good with women, seduction, and I find all this amazing material. I start reading it, and reading it, And eventually, everything just took care of itself, and I got good with women. And do you guys think that's how it actually happened, that I found this stuff, and then all of a sudden, poof, I got good with women? No, hell no, that's not how it went down. Oh God, no, I started reading a lot, and it did make all the negative feelings go away, because I felt like, oh man, I'm in control of this now, like I got this. I know, how women think, I know how it works. That's cool, yeah, I got this. But yet I didn't have a girl, and I didn't do any approaches, and yeah, I'd sprinkle in some like cocky, funny lines every now and then in school and stuff like that, but that was about as far as I would push it. And yeah, I was 14 all the way through high school. Every now and then, I would get lucky. I got a girlfriend. The girl I lost my virginity to, she was like 23, and I was like 17. Completely the right place at the right time, like, let me tell you. But that fueled my like raging ego even more. I was like, I can get anybody. I know this stuff. Like, look at the girl I'm with right now. So finally, senior year of high school, right? Same thing again. I fall in love with the girl, and this time I know what's up. And to be honest, this time this girl really did like me. She was into me, and that's what made it so much more painful when I completely like blew this whole opportunity with her. All of senior year, basically, I kept going back and forth with her. I would pussy out, then I would go for it in like a real weird way, and it just never worked out. And then I realized, you know what, I hadn't learned anything. All these years, zip, I had nothing to show for it. So finally, I flew back to Europe, Sweden, and for the first time, me and my friend, we would bounce these like ideas off each other. We'd be like, yeah, man, did you read this stuff? Yeah, I read that. That's cool, man. We can use that. And then we like go play World of Warcraft. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? And now everybody here on the field all the time. So I never actually met somebody that knew this stuff. And what ended up happening, my most like important purpose in the community was like, what's a cool name I can have on a forum? Like Dark Thunderbolt Man or something like that. And that's actually, people ask me why like zebra, what the hell? At some point I was like, who gives a shit about a name? Like, let's just pick something. I looked at it like at a advertising sign, it was just, like a zebra there, and I was like, zebra, I'll post on that. I went to Sweden, I went to a pickup summit kind of like this, and for the first time I saw a guy that had this handled. Like the picture in my head, I was like, that's who I want to be. No more bullshit, none of this. I'm gonna take care of this for real this time. Like you say this a lot to yourself, right? But this time actually, for whatever reason, it clicked for me. I was like, damn, there it is, right in front of me. I can obtain it. Now I know what it looks like. And I went home and I sat down and I just realized, damn, I have no idea what to do next. Like that guy, the really cool guy, I knew what he looked like. I knew I wanted to be him. But I just had no idea what to do. And so, after a lot of trial and error, obviously, like anybody that's been through this, I found at least the 3 most important areas for me, and I'm gonna share this stuff with you, and then hopefully you guys won't have to rack your brains really finding out about this stuff. And a lot of this stuff I think you probably heard before, but it's like the basic stuff that you really have to get done. And until you fix this, nothing else is gonna work. So basically, the first thing that I feel is really important to take care of, and I don't want to call this inner game. I don't really think it's inner game. I think I was never a guy that I didn't really have discipline or anything like that. So if I can't take care of other stuff in my life, how can I ever fix this area of my life? So I had to get my shit straight with habits and stuff like that. And the 3 things that you really have to get down is leverage. Leverage on yourself, and I'll explain that in a little bit. The second one is goals, which I'm sure you guys are all excited to hear about, right? And then just getting conscious of all this stuff. So leverage, what is that? You got to know exactly why you want to do this. Why are you here? Why are you out in the field? When you get blown out or when you see a really scary set, why are you going to go into it? What do you want to, do you want to be alone for the rest of your life? Do you want other people having control over your feelings like that? Your emotions being a roller coaster? you got to make it clear why you're in this game or, this field of practice. Why do you want to get good with women? Until you have like a crystal clear image in your head what you're moving away from, I think if you're just ambiguous about it, like, oh, I don't like not having like a girl, I don't know why I'm doing this. Until you have a crystal clear image in your head why you want to do this, it's going to be so much harder for you to, achieve your goals or whatever, get the girl, go out into the field, do whatever you have to do to push yourself outside your comfort zone. Because when push comes to pull or whatever, your brain is going to be like, why are you doing this? Just go home, sit down, take a nap. And if you don't have any like really good answer to come back with, then you're just going to go home. You're going to give up, right? So get leverage. This is something I found that like the guys that really went from shit to like the best, they all had leverage on themselves. Remember last year, Dream told us about like one of his nights when he just like got blown out left and right, and he was like a mental wreck, and he went to the gym and he pumped himself like really hard, and he was just like destroyed. Well, that's his leverage. You remember that, like he had those negative emotions and he knew like, fuck that, I don't want to feel this anymore. I got to get this handled. So you really got to like have a clear picture of why you're doing it. Second one is goals, which Hart just took that up with you, and you can see it's a really important thing. Ambiguity is your enemy. If you don't know what you're moving towards, then how can you ever achieve it? I remember when I was starting out, like my goals would be ask people, for the time, obviously, like really, really simple stuff. Say hi to people, and then I would move up to, do you like chicken or fish? Like randomly, I would approach people with that. Something like that, and I remember this like one time in a subway, the whole subway is like jam-packed, and in Sweden, you don't talk to people on the subway, it's taboo. If you see somebody doing that, they're either crazy, drunk, or you can bet your money they're in like the community, because that's how it works out. And it's like all quiet, people are like in their own little world, and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta do this, I gotta do this to set my goals, all right. And I have my iPod on, and like I slowly, like really creepily like take my iPods out, and I'm like, and I start staring at this woman. I'm like, do you like chicken or fish? And like, she's like, excuse me? And the people around me are just like, when I started talking to her, because it was so quiet, everybody thought I was talking to them. Everybody looks at me. They're like, what the fuck? And like, these chicks were like laughing at me, and like, this woman's like, chicken? I was like, oh. And I just like put my shit back in my ears. I was like, and in my head, I was like, goal completed, yes. I had to get off at the next station because I couldn't take that shit. People were like, the fuck is this douchebag? Plus, even in Sweden, I'll speak English to people like out in social settings because I prefer English. It's a lot more fun than Swedish, I think. And I could hear people like in Swedish, they're like, what the fuck? Who is this guy like talking about me? Then later on, like my goals would progressively advance, like Hart like took up with you. You gotta have that long-term goal. I knew exactly what I wanted to be, but then like, if I just like woke up one day and was like, all right, I'm gonna achieve this goal, I would fail very quickly. And then, oh, it's too hard. I don't wanna do this anymore. Forget it. You set the main long-term goal, and then you have little goals in between that kind of get you up to speed. Another one that was like really horrible. At some point, I got really tired of just like asking people this stuff and like, oh, cool, and then like walking away, because I would get mad at myself, like, dude, you gotta push yourself. You gotta stay in the set. And I made up my mind, like, all right, this one, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna be in it for like at least 5 minutes, no matter what happens. And I walk up to these like two girls, and I'm like, hey, chicken or fish? And she's like, fuck off. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I was pre-programmed that I was gonna stay in the set no matter what. So I was like, you must not like chicken then, or some shit like that, And after a while, they kind of warmed up. They're just like, what the fuck? This dude's crazy. Goals, really important. Like, that was me then. Now I'm working like, I want to hook up with 2 new girls every week. And like, I think a couple of weeks ago, I hit that, and that's what I'm doing now. Those are the goals that I'm taking care of now. At some point, you gotta realize that, like everybody says, it's like the negative side of the community. You gotta really understand why you like achieving these goals, and if you're like, I just want to hook up with all these girls in like the long run, dude, man, you're gonna be losing a lot of like sleep, a lot of time. You're gonna meet up with these chicks, like go approach new chicks. You're gonna have like flu symptoms all the time. It's just, you really got to evaluate if it's, why you're doing these goals. Third thing, when I was starting out, I didn't realize this at the time. I just kind of like looking back, I figured out that this is a really important step for me. Getting conscious of like how you see women, how you see yourself, and how you see yourself together with women. I didn't know it at the time, but I would see like a hot chick, and I wouldn't think like, damn, hot chick, cool. Like, it's gonna happen, and she'd probably be a cool person. No, I'd be like, damn, hot chick, like, I'm gonna get rejected, it's gonna be pain, it's gonna suck. Like, I can't do that, oh man, I'm gonna go like talk to these girls because I know they like me or whatever, that'll be cool. And, obviously, if you're aware of this, it's not gonna fix it for you. But if you don't know that like this is how you're thinking, then how can you ever like hope to like get rid of that kind of garbage? Because that's what it is. It's just garbage. So you just got to get like clear on how do you see women? Like, do you think they're like, do you hate them for rejecting you? Do you put them on a pedestal? All the classic stuff that the community will teach you. Like, don't put them on a pedestal. They're just girls, right? They're other people. They're not going to bite your head off. Sometimes. So I set my goals, and I got my leverage, and I was like, all right, cool. That was the easy part. I did that at home. I still wasn't talking to women. That's awesome. So I looked around at my life. I was like, damn, this is not the life of somebody that like meets women, because I was going to school, college, and it was like really hard work, and I really like boxing, and I really got into that. But at some point, I realized that like the working out that I did, it was just like a substitute, because I knew I should be out there like taking care of this. But I was like, no, I need to do boxing. I need to train. This is what I got to do. Like at some point, I was distracting myself because I didn't want to deal with this area. So the next thing I had to do was I had to set my life up, sort of create a habitat for myself where approaching women, and like it was natural. I didn't have to think about it. It's just like, oh, Friday night, time to go out. And the most important thing that I found here, that you can do a lot of things. I guess you can take yoga classes or aerobics where there are a lot of women. That'll help you out, and that's great. I mean, you can probably figure it out yourself. But for me, like one of the tipping points was meeting people that were into this. And I'm not saying, I would talk to my friends and be like, hey, do you guys like girls? Do you want to go meet some girls? Because they're like, yeah, I love girls. Like, yeah, we'll go to the bar. You and me, man, we'll go pick up some chicks. Because you know what happens? Like, when your friend Joe and you go to the bar with your regular friends, this is what happens. You go to the bar, you get a beer, and then you stand in the bar with your beer all night long, talking to your friend Joe. I'm generalizing, obviously. You might have some really cool friends, some like pimp-ass dude that like owns the club and he's awesome. But for me, I would start going out to bars and clubs, and I would just end up doing nothing. And when I got a little better, when I knew how to like have fun at a club, I love my friends, all right? But I would almost end up having to babysit them because they don't know how to have fun in a bar. So they'd just be like, hey man, yeah, cool. And then I'd be like, come on guys, like, let's tear it up. And then, I would pump like their states. And then I'd feel like responsible. Like if somebody having a good time, I'd be like, hey man, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And that's not a really good frame you want to be in. It makes you start like kind of resenting your friends. Like, dude, like man up, right? You don't want to get into that. And having fun at a bar or a club is a learned skill. TV advertises and people like say all the time, you're like, the club is the place to be, right? 50 Cent, the song, in the club. Dude, the first time I went to a club with my friends, in high school, we walk in there, we're like, yeah, we arrived, 18, finally. And then all of a sudden you can see like everybody's face kind of shifts when they just realize, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing here. Like there's lights, there's people, we can't get drinks, we're 18. Get this huge X thing on your hand, it's like the scarlet letter. And I remember we were all like clustering together, like moving together in like a little blob, right? And I'm like, damn, this is weird, it's fucked up. Let's split up, guys. We'll split up and we'll all like do a little tour and then we'll come back and hang out. And everybody's like, yeah, cool. I turn around, I start walking, and I take a few steps, and I'm like, I look back, and all of them are like little ducks following me, like mother duck. They just like single file, they lined up, and they're like trailing me. And as soon as I turn around, they like scatter like ninjas into the crowd. And it's funny because you can see them like standing there. They're just like, oh yeah, oh, it's a good song, yeah. Like try to dance. Turn around, all of them like line up. And there's a lot of people that they go to these clubs because that's where the fun is. But knowing how to have a good time in a club, that's something you learn. At least that's how it was for me. Like now, if I don't go out on the weekend, like at least 3 nights a week, I can't do my schoolwork because I'm like, oh, I can't focus because I don't have like an outlet for this shit. Yeah, go ahead.
So real quick, so you're saying that your friends were lowering your value or something, and that's why you're trying to get away from them?
You know what? I wouldn't say that they were lowering my value because I think I was lowering my own value at that point. I wasn't trying to get away from them. It's just like, let's see what's going on. I wasn't like, all right, fuck you guys, I'm doing my own thing, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing either. So at this point, if I'm going out with my friends that night, then I'm gonna stick with my friends and we're gonna have a good time. I'm not gonna give a shit about my value. But if it's, if I'm going out and this is what I'm doing, then I might actually break off from my wing. If he's having a bad night, I'd be like, hey dude, you're a little off. I'll see you tomorrow. It depends. I don't want to like, fuck you, man. So, yeah.
Hey, real quick, if you have a friend who's not really familiar with the community and isn't really naturally a party-going guy, but you want to bring him out because it's a good buddy of yours, you love going out with him and talking with him. Since you say it's a skill that's learned, how can you teach someone or inspire someone to go out and learn that skill?
Awesome question. First of all, I think if you have any friends like that, you should never be ashamed to like tell them, hey man, let's go get good at picking up women. You don't have to be like, hey man, this is like this website and this forum and I have a name, whatever, all this like nerd stuff that I'm really into. Like I love that, but you don't have to like overwhelm them. But I think the best way to do that is actually to go out with them and then have a good time and show them how to have a good time at a club. Because like I said, I had no idea, right? And so back to, kind of sidetrack now, back to the topic, setting up the habitat, getting people that are good at this, a little better than you would be preferable because then you can quickly reach their level and you can kind of bounce off each other. If you get somebody, or like if you meet somebody that's as good as you, hey, that's cool, you guys can like work it out together. Lower than you, hey, you can help them out, that's awesome too, like your friend. But preferably for your growth, the best thing you can do is go on a forum, meet somebody, go out with them, and then see what they're doing, and then learn from them. And then, you don't want to be kind of the slug, like dragging them down, like try to, give some value back. And if you have a friend, do the same with them. Just take them out and show them. Like show them how to have a good time, that it's allowed to talk to other people. It's allowed to touch people, dance with girls. You don't have to like be scared. That's the best way if you ask me. I've had a lot of luck with meeting people on forums. Like when you think about it, I'm gonna meet some stranger off the internet. It's kind of, how's this gonna turn out? It might be some, like that Dateline shit they did when they like try to catch a rapist or whatever. But the first swing I met up with off the internet, he turned out to be a really cool guy, and we actually became friends. And this guy, he knew how to go out. He wasn't like Mpua or something like that, but he knew how to go out and how to talk to chicks, like how to make them hook. And after watching him for a while, all of a sudden, I was doing it too. Like I went from that guy that didn't even know what to do in a club. Just by watching him, I learned how to do it. It wasn't like I didn't have to pay him, like, it's like my private boot camps, whatever. Didn't have to pay him, didn't have to do shit. I just went out, had a good time with him. That was my value to him. Like, we make jokes, whatever. I would be cool, he'd be cool. And that's how I learned to actually start, talking to women in clubs. It didn't go very well at first. Didn't go very well at all, actually. If you guys are familiar at all with the forum for this convention, you'll see like one of my first posts is, how do I talk to people in the club? The music is so loud. How does that work? And stuff like that. Because obviously back then I was trying to run like logical routines, like, hey, I have this girlfriend and she's jealous, and what do you think about it? Like shit like that, And I had no idea what to do, so this is what I was trying. It wasn't working for me. Plus that, I was giving up drinking in clubs because I would try to like drown myself with alcohol when I was going out without approaching. And the first time I like walked into a club and I wasn't drunk, I was like, what the hell is this? This is so weird. Like, it's completely different from what I've like seen every time. After I learned to like completely go out and have a good time without alcohol, now I'll have like a beer or two, whatever. There'll be nights that I'll just go out with my friends and I'll just drink until like I have to like get rolled out of the ditch, whatever. It's my choice. You know, it's my choice. Whatever, if I want to go out and meet girls, I won't do that. That's, you know, like set your priorities. Drink, I hate tonic water. It's disgusting. I'll drink that shit because like I'll take a sip and it's like, ugh. Then I found out about this convention, right? And I went here and I met these guys here. And again, it was like, I met my first wing, my game's like, I come here and like I was on a little plateau, it was like I was going out, not doing so well. And all of a sudden I come here, I meet these guys, my game, again, skyrockets. I met Dream and Slick and all these guys. And they taught me, like, the greatest thing that I took away from meeting these dudes was having fun when I'm out. Really important. You hear a lot of these guys going, it's a skill set, right? It's something you learn, it's a hobby. You know what, like tennis is a hobby. When you go play tennis, you don't feel like, oh shit, if I fuck up, like, this is my life, I'm such a loser if I like miss the serve. When you go out with like meeting women, if you feel like, oh, you know, like you're sweating and you feel like you have to push yourself, guess what? Your learning is gonna be kind of stifled. Once you pass that threshold of like, this is the shit, like I wanna do this is fun, that's when you start seeing it as like, this is a skill, a hobby, whatever, I wanna go out, like, it doesn't matter if the girl comes home with me tonight or not, like as long as I'm out getting the information that I need to grow, that's what you wanna do, and that's really important. Like until you get that, you just keep pushing yourself, keep going out with new guys, until eventually like you hit that golden harmonious clang or whatever when it turns fun. I think there was another guy on the forum here that wrote, it's a beautiful thing when you finally start going out to enjoy yourself and not to Sarge. Suma, one of the old students, he's not here today, sucks, but it was a really cool post. I have one, and the guy I'm sergeant with now, he's like a really dedicated guy, awesome. He left, and I realized that I was completely dependent on going out with wings, so now I'm kind of waning myself off, going out solo, and it's like, I feel like I'm back on stage one, but you know what, sometimes you gotta take 2 steps back to take 1 step forward, so you gotta be willing to let go of like your pride and be like, you know, whatever. If I gotta start over, I gotta start over. So yeah, and that's the most important thing in like creating a habitat. Really, if you ask me, if you do nothing else, do that. You'll, like, these people will motivate you when you don't motivate yourself. Make some new friends, reach out, touch somebody in an appropriate way, and it'll solve itself. If you're, like I said, I was boxing a lot. If you're playing video games or you're playing golf or whatever, and you know you're just doing it because like you don't want to like have to face the music, stop it, cut it down. You like playing video games? Cool, me too. I do it like for an hour a day maybe, or when I have time, but I don't like do World of Warcraft marathons where I'm like, I have to level up or whatever anymore. I'm European, I'm allowed to. Okay, so at this point, I'd gotten my shit straight. I got my habits in. Like I got the goals, whatever, the first stuff I was talking about. I got my little habitat where I was going out at least 3 nights a week. That's what I didn't go out every night. I've never done that actually, but I've always been going for like the past year. I've been out 3 nights a week, and so I got my friends. That was cool. So what was the next leap for me? Now, when you're in the club, I think a really important thing is to know how to be social in a good way. Bear with me, all right. A lot of guys will start and they'll kind of have the frame of mind that, you know, I know how to have a conversation. I have conversations all the time. You know, I'll just take my model of conversations in regular life and I'll apply it to the bar or the club or whatever, meeting women. And so obviously, a very logical thing to do is, you know, ask a question, get a response, and then answer to that response and build off of that stuff and then move into a direction. Very logical, right? Like the jealous girlfriend opener. You ask her something, she gives you a response, and you work off of that. For me, that's a fucking tightrope. Like, first of all, delivering the question, like all that body language stuff, like getting it good, whatever, making sure she hears you, because you know when you say something and she's like, what? And you're like, oh, I said blah, blah, blah. No, dude, you're out of there. Forget it. Just walk away. I don't, no, that's not appropriate. You can still like come back from that, but that's not the way you want to start out. And then like hearing what she said, like, I guess women lie more. And then you're like, oh, okay, what do I say next? You're walking a tightrope, all right? That's what I want to get at. You have to think like, what do I say next to this response? My golden ticket for this is complete nonsense. That's how I do it. I speak complete nonsense. And obviously within some range of context, but like, if anybody that's seen me, like, Rabbit, you've seen me, Dream will attest to this, like, I'll come in, I remember one of the speakers last year was Manhor, and he said, like, he made a joke about how he's, like, when he wants to get sexual, he'll, like, bring up mayonnaise. You know, like, he'd want to smother her in mayonnaise and stuff like that. He was joking. It wasn't, like, anything that he wanted people to do. I took that shit out. I was like, man, mayonnaise, blah, 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 and I pulled the girl with this shit. Like, she was like, what? He was like, yeah, where do you live? Where do you live? Tell me where you live. I'll bring a jar. It'd be awesome. And she's like, what? You know, like, don't push it. Like, if she's cool with it, and she's like, what's your name? Blah, blah. I'm like, no, not my name. The mayonnaise. Like, you know, cut it. You don't want to be that dude that, like, has nothing else but complete nonsense in your repertoire. That's just, like, you're just being needy and gay. Stop it. But yeah, complete nonsense. Now, I don't, you know, it seems kind of vague. Let me explain myself. I used to want to go in with questions. Hey, and I'll do it sometime now. Hey, how are you guys? Whatever. Hey, what do you guys think of the opinion openers, right? Everybody likes opinion openers because they're safe. Now, I actually prefer to go in with statements. I'll state stuff right off the bat. And like, this worked out really well one time. Like, this girl was coming by me and she had a polka dot dress. And I'm like, oh shit, polka dots. I love polka dots. Woo! And she opened up and I was like, damn, that worked really well. And at that point, that's like when I was starting out, and like if something worked for me, I'd cling to it for dear life. And I was like, damn, polka dot dress, it's a new routine I made up. And I would walk up to like chicks in like jeans and like shirts that had nothing to do with polka dots, and I'd be like, damn, I love girls in polka dots, can't even talk to you anymore. Because like, I'd be so attracted to you. And this shit would open up, they'd be like, ha ha ha, I don't wear polka dots. I'm like, yeah, you look like a polka dot girl. And I can't take that. And that's where I kind of realized, you know what, I think a lot of like people say this, it doesn't matter what you're saying, because if you do get into that frame of mind where like, oh, I have to say something and like it has to make sense, like I said, the tightrope. The gibberish compared to the logic is like a football field. You can go left, you can go right, and you have a really wide margin when you can talk about. If you come in talking about Harry Potter, I don't think she'll be very upset if you just automatically switch the conversation to like, I don't know, apple picking, whatever you want. See, because it's not weird if you come in with like weird shit off the bat. That's like, if you come in like, hey, what's your name, blah, 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 cool, you guys having a good time? By the way, I love apple picking. Strange. Not very cool to do. So when you have this really wide margin, you have this football field, so to speak, and you're moving around on and going backwards, forwards, you want to have a general direction where you're taking this, you know, making it sexual, obviously. You know, you don't want to be platonic, fun, high-value social man that's like talking to everybody in the club, everybody loves you, and you feel like the shit. Let me tell you, that man does not get laid. I know for a fact. You could be like the guy that everybody loves in the club, but if you're not capitalizing on it, you're going home alone. That's end of story. That was like a long sticking point that I had, or I don't want a sticking point now, it's a problem. I was working towards a goal of not doing that. So you've heard all this like really kick-ass attraction material. This stuff is gold. Cold reading, I love cold reading. It is the shit. Cocky, funny, push, pull, you know, anything off a form. It's just like, it's just magic. And when you have this football field where you're just talking nonsense, you sprinkle that stuff in whenever you feel appropriate. And, you know, you don't feel any pressure. Like I said, she said something and you're like, oh, what's the cocky, funny line of this? How do I neg her, but then not neg her enough so she'll like me, but then, you know, like it's all this complicated junk. If you're just like in nonsense land, whatever, then you can push-pull her whenever. Like, oh, you don't like apple picking? We'll never get along, whatever, I love you anyway, get away from me, you know. See, it doesn't even make sense, but they, like, the sub-communication is there. She can feel the awesome vibe coming off of you, because, let me tell you, when I started doing this is when I started having fun. Me and my wing will bounce stuff off each other, and I'll, like, literally sometimes choke on my beer, and, like, tears will come out of my eyes, because something he said is so ridiculous and funny. I'm like, shit, like, did he say that? Like, well, sometimes, I know I keep ripping on World of Warcraft, everybody does it, but in Sweden, like, girls hate World of Warcraft because all the guys, like, they lose boyfriends to it. So we'll, like, sometimes we'll come in and be like, my grand level master sword level 55, like, I finally leveled it up. I haven't talked to people in like 10 days. I need some human contact, guys. And like, we'll just like grab these girls and, you know, they'll like burst out laughing or some shit like that, you know, we'll punt it off that. And that's, yeah, not a problem. All right, so I'm really passionate about the gibberish. I think you guys can tell. Like, this is the really fun stuff that I love doing. So to sum it up, I guess, don't put so much effort on what you're saying. It's fine. She can feel the sub-communications of you having fun, and that's really all you need. That's how you get that out there. Like, people say, man, just be yourself, have a good time. All right, but like, you know, sometimes you want to have a good time and you're like, I'm having a good time. I just don't want to smile. Like, I don't want to open up my body language. Like, this is how I have a good time. No, but when you're saying like all this like ridiculous nonsense, it gets your brain into like happy fun land and like squirrels and shit are running around. And it's really, yeah, squirrels and shit. And it just brings up the mood for everyone, including yourself. I got a question here. Somebody just wanted a little bit more examples on how to use this like gibberish stuff. And I can understand that because you don't want to come in and like spout like random words like candy wrapper, chairs, hair, and then like look at her like an idiot and like expect her to be like, woo, yeah, awesome, like take your pants off. There's got to be some sort of context, like at least a context inside your nonsense, if that makes any sense. One of the like real life examples that I have, I got a number from some girl, and me and my friends were like sitting, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna call her up, and I dialed the number, and I'm like, hey, what's up? Yeah, blah blah blah, and then we're gonna like start robbing banks. Can you drive a car? No? All right, well you can cook the food then. We're gonna go to Mexico. You cook tacos for us. It's gonna be awesome. All right, tell her I said hi. I'll talk to you later. And like my friends are like, oh, was that the girl? I was like, no, that was her mom, but I told her to like call me back later because you know everybody enjoys the fun stuff. How do you want to come about this? The main premise, I think, is be in your own world. I don't want to put labels on it. Think of something that's funny for you, that you would find funny, and just go with it. If you see a bunch of girls, and you know they're in their little group or whatever, come up and think of something that you thought was really funny as a kid, like Zorro, for example, and tell them like, who here loves Zorro? And then like, honestly, you don't even have to wait for an answer because you can just be like, you look like a girl that loves Zorro. I can tell because you got this look in your eye and the way you're holding your drink. Like I guess that can be a cold read, but it's nonsense. Sometimes she's not even holding a drink. I was like, the way you're holding that thing, like I can just tell you're trouble. You're a bad girl. It's like people just be laughing, you know. I was trying to teach my friend this. This guy was a complete like novice. Awesome guy, and I was like, dude, all you gotta do is have fun. Watch this. Hey, and I think this is a classic routine. I was like, I'm gonna put you in a box. I'm gonna put you inside a box. We're gonna go to Disney World, and it's gonna be awesome. Like, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, eat cotton candy, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, then I turn to him, and this girl's right here in front of us, and I'm like, tell her you're gonna put her in a box. Tell her that now. And this dude saw me do it, and he did not want to believe me. He saw with his own eyes the girl loving me, but he was like, no, this makes no sense. And then like, I forcefully, was like, tell her you're gonna put her in a box. And he goes, I'm gonna put you in a box? And she flips out, she's loving this stuff, she goes crazy. And this guy's like, holy shit. Like, you can see his brain melting or something like that, right? And the thing is, this guy, like I said, awesome guy, I love him to death, but he just, he has this like really firm set of like, and he kind of gets into it. He's like, yeah, we're gonna go to Disney World, and then you're like, you're gonna meet my stepmom. Like, she's really mean, you're not gonna like my stepmom. And then all of a sudden, his brain snaps, and he's like, holy shit, what am I talking about? And he goes, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna put you in a box. I'm not gonna do that. Am I cool? Am I cool? Am I cool? He literally says, am I cool? I'm not gonna put you in the box. I've never seen a woman walk away so fast as this chick, and she was like, oh, yeah. So he goes later, sprouts off. It's kind of funny because she went back to her little group of friends, or like her friends came in and they're like, woo, Susie, what's up, yeah. And they got into that little like hyper mode when they're all like talking to each other. And then I turned to him and I'm like, all right, man, her friends are here. What do we do now? And he's like, wait until they're done talking. I was like, fuck no, we go in and speak louder. And I just like busted. I was like, what's up, guys? And they're like, they really started like, they were loving it. And this guy's like, what the hell's going on? He didn't know how to have fun at a club, right? That's what the problem was. And seeing this stuff, again, best way to actually learn it. This guy's getting better now. Like I see him talking to women and he's having a good time. So there's hope for everyone. How I learned this, I went to kind of like a pickup summit like this, and they made an exercise for us where they paired up 3 guys like in the room. Everybody would get up like into groups of 3, and then they gave you a random topic, and you had to talk about this topic for like 5 minutes, and you had to make it seem like the most interesting thing in the world. And like a douchebag, I like volunteered to do this on stage. So I come up there, and we have our little like group of 3 people, and they're like, sailboats. Talk about sailboats. If somebody pointed a gun to my head at that moment and said, talk about sailboats, I could not do it. For the life of me. I was like, sailboats. Well, it's a boat. It has sails. And this dude, like, this is what blew me away. He comes in and he's like, dude, you're thinking way too much. You're applying logic to a problem that cannot be solved by logic. Give me something. And blew me away. I was like, t-shirts. And he goes, t-shirts. We're gonna sell t-shirts in Japan, and it's gonna be so awesome. Let me see your palm. And he does like a palm reading thing, like, see this line? That's your selling t-shirts in Japan line. Awesome. We're gonna get married, and we're gonna have kids. I'm gonna divorce you. And I was like, holy shit. This guy could talk about anything for hours. And I actually had like the t-shirt routine after that, because it was like magic. But very quickly I dropped that, because I just realized I saw the style that he was using. And that's really like the foundation of actually like the way I open and the way like I start the interaction out. I think somebody had a question here like, why do you want to be positive? Why don't you want to be negative? If you come in, like nobody wants to hang out with a negative dude. If you're bringing like a bad vibe, like a serious vibe, you're in the club and you're like Remington Steele with the look on your face, you're gonna be bringing people down. Like, I don't know, some girls might be into that if you're really hot. I have a friend, and like he gets opened by girls all the time. Fucking hate that dude. Just kidding. That's like how I converse with people in bars and clubs. I walk up, and you'll never see me run out of things to say. It'll get to a certain point where you'll have moved along into the interaction, and if you start going back towards it, you'll seem kind of like, all right, he obviously doesn't know, like he, lost it, and now he's trying to like backpedal and try to do it again. It'll seem like you're button pushing. You don't want that. Once you started like some sort of logical progression, and like you come off like, for example, you tell her she loves to rob banks, and you're having a really cool time with that, and then like you can do the little mini cold read, like Hart told you, like, oh, you're blah blah blah. When I came here to talk to you, I realized this about you and that about you, and then she's like, yes, no, and then you can start going into like regular conversation where you find out about her, she finds out about you, whatever you want to do. For a long time, I actually had a sticking point where like I would talk to chicks, and as soon as the conversation got like really like it started getting for real, I'd be like, this is boring. Like I don't want to do this. Like, and then I'd go for the makeout, and if she wasn't down, I'd be like, bye, screw it, go talk to some like other girl and like have fun. That's really bad. You don't want to do that. You don't want to get hung up on it. So like I said, doing this can very quickly make you the really like social fun guy at the club. You can walk around to everybody, like guys, girls, just have a good time, whatever. And you can get really high value really fast. It's not, in my experience, it didn't get me laid. I wasn't pulling at the end of it. Sometimes, yes, because the girl will have like, I guess pre-selected me or whatever. She's like, in her mind when I came up and I showed that I was like, you know, unreact, I didn't give a shit and confident and fun, in her mind that was enough for her. And she was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go home with this guy, cool. It's happened a few times. Not very persistent though, or consistent. You gotta, as a guy, you gotta lead. I think we all, deep down inside, we all know this, but we gotta man up to it. And when I was looking at myself, again, the magic number 3, I found 3 things that really were like stopping me and that I had to work on before, you know, I don't want to say before like I started getting like girls on a band, but like before I got this stuff handled, I would have really good sets. I would, you know, doing awesome, but I wouldn't, like, there would be a window of opportunity and I would not take it. I just wouldn't. I'd walk away. I didn't know, you know, or the girl would get bored. Eventually she does get bored. She'll walk away. So the first thing is you. You have a mental barrier. Like, I don't know, not all, I had a mental barrier. I would walk into a set of girls, open them up, have them laughing, whatever, I'd be super valued, girls would be coming up to me, everything would be peachy keen, and then I'd be like, this is it, you know, I remember those times and I would, like, wouldn't talk to anybody, this is it, I've reached the top of the mountain, and I would, like, have a little diagram of myself standing on top of a little mountain, like, going like that, and, you know, when it came time, you know, I can tell the interactions going towards, like, either you go for it or she walks away, because you're getting bored, she's getting bored, it's time for something to happen. I'd be like, no, man, I don't, you know, like, I don't want to lose this. I'm on top of the mountain. Like, if I go for it, she might walk away. She might be like, ew, you're weird. Like, I don't want to make out with you. And like, there would be this feeling of loss, right? I could lose something. That's your mental barrier. You don't want to lose the girl, so you're not going for it. You're not manning up. All right, like, reality check. Let me tell you something. If you can get a stranger to talk to you and giggle and have fun with you, whoop they fucking do, man. It means nothing, all right? You've achieved nothing. You are not on top of the mountain. You are on like the base of the slope. And once you realize you have nothing to lose, because you can walk up to 20 girls and like probably just be a cool guy and they're like, yeah, they'll talk to you, be into you, whatever. You have absolutely nothing to lose. You need to realize that there's a lot more hill to climb. Not only, like, I don't want to set it up as like, yeah, it's like a tough struggle to like get the girl. No, but like, you haven't reached it. Like, if you think chicks are gonna fall into your bed just because you can make them laugh and stuff like that because you're confident, no. You gotta go for it. You gotta start escalating in, you know, whatever, start talking about, make a sexual frame, whatever you wanna, like, I know you guys know how to escalate. There's so much stuff out there in the community, like, you know, like I said, framing the conversation, like making her your girlfriend and then telling her that you would never get along because your sex would be too rough and like it's an emotional roller coaster, or you know, just go for the makeout, anything like that. Let her know that you're into her, you know, just that you want it. So you're not that platonic, like really cool, fun guy that she's like, yeah, I like talking to him, but like obviously he's, you know, not into me for whatever reason. You got to start going for it and got to be more aggressive with it. The next one is her. She's also a barrier. She's also a barrier to escalating because you try to go in for the makeout, right? And she pulls back, then, you know, you're not getting anywhere. She's blocking you. And I found that usually any sort of like resistance she gives you, let's just call it a shit test. You all know what a shit test, I assume you all know what a shit test is, when she like tries to like affect you in some way and see how you react. And if you're not getting shit tests, that means you're a platonic friend, man. That means you're not moving in the right direction. You want the shit tests. Like, shit tests are good. If you're getting shit tests, you know, like, all right, this girl like wants it from me. And there are some guys that are like kung fu masters at this. And I try to I want to be a kung fu master, but I'd rather go for consistency than that one awesome time where I nailed the shit test. Like she said something, and then I said the perfect thing back, and I was nailing her in the bathroom 5 seconds later. And this happened 2 years ago. I haven't gotten laid since then, but 2 years ago it happened. And you'll get these guys sometimes, that they'll keep talking about this one amazing lay that was truly amazing. But all right, it's time to move on. Time to move on to greater things. The way that I like to, or that I approach shit test is unreactiveness. Sometimes I won't even say anything. As long as you're unreactive, I know it's I'm just throwing it out there, just be unreactive, right? It comes with practice. That's all I got to say. But the way I handle it is she'll be, one really rough one was, I was talking to this girl, she was we were loving it, we were having a great time, and she tried to make out with her. She goes, "No, you're ugly. I'm not into you. You're an ugly guy." And I was like, damn, what the fuck? On the outside, I was be unreactive. And I was just standing there, I was like, okay. And I felt so weird. You know when you trip, and then you get up and you're just standing normally, and you feel really weird, oh, my arms are you're self-conscious, and you feel weird just standing normally, as opposed to if you didn't trip and you'd be standing the same way, you wouldn't feel weird. For me, it was weird being unreactive, because when somebody throws some shit like that at me, my natural response is to react. Whatever way, get pissed, throw some jab back at her, whatever, to react. That is my natural response. You have to go through a lot of crap before you reach that place where you truly do not give a shit. I still if somebody throws a shit test that's really good. Some girls throw shit tests out there for the hell of it that are really bad, and those don't faze you. But someone's will take a dagger and just twist it, and you learn that shit by going out and practicing. Funny note that I've noticed is when you're with a girl that isn't as high value socially, her shit test will be a lot harder than the supermodel girls. With average girl, she'd be she'll say something I don't really like that, but I'm sort of into this. That can be her form of shit that she doesn't agree with you, but she'll say something else that she likes, right? And in your mind, you'll be wait, what was this? Does she want me to agree with her or not agree with her? You're oh God, what does she want? It's a bad headspace. But with the hot girls, they'll be do you want to fuck me? Is that what you want to do? That's easy. Yes. Yes, I do. Shit that's passed. Or are you trying to pick me up? Yes. Shit that's passed. Man, I lost some hot ass girls. They just be are you trying to pick me up? And I'd be no, why would you think that? I'm just trying to have a good time. I'm just dude, I wouldn't even finish my sentence. Just gone. Just out of there. Usually when you do get in with the really, really hotties, you'll find that your margin of error, if you fuck up, it's a lot smaller. They're just they'll leave you hanging mid-sentence. But on some level, it's also almost more textbook, because all the stuff you read about, girls looking into your eyes to see if you're congruent, who does that? But with the hotties, you'll actually see, oh shit, that's the stuff I read about. Cool. I'm actually seeing it in real life. It's been my experience. The shit test with the girls. Unreactive. Sometimes I'll try to be reactive. I'll try to throw in the kung fu line, and sometimes it'll just be I'll just look like a douchebag, real try hard. And sometimes I'll look they'll be really impressed, and it'll be cool. It'll be the attraction or the sexual chemistry, the tension will be amplified 100 million times, as opposed to amplified just a little bit by being unreactive. But yeah, just don't give a shit. Just don't care. Go out there and do your thing. The third thing that I want to talk about in escalation or whatever is Kino, because a lot of guys have problems with this. This is when I was making my notes and stuff, I was talk about Kino, and then I realized I don't know what the hell to say about Kino, because I've never had to learn anything about Kino. You go up, when you talk to somebody, touching them, dude, it's weird if you don't touch them. That's how I saw. I've never had any problem with keno. Like people are like, when are you supposed to keno? And they're like, oh, as soon as you walk in, you like give them a tap on the behind the elbow. It's socially accepted and safe. Like, yeah, it's cool, but if you like want to walk in, if you have the right vibe, you like grab them, whatever. That works out too. If you want to come in and not touch them for a little while, and then like it's appropriate later to like give them a little punch on the shoulder. Just like I think the best way to learn is, like I said, get conscious of the fact that you think like touching is weird. And then in the beginning, push yourself, just like do weird stuff. Like do the whole like, haha, it's a funny joke. Hand on shoulder, 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, hand off shoulder. And then like, you'll start like, you'll get like the really bad reactions, and then you'll see like when you get the good reactions, and you'll start getting an intuitive feel for this. If you want to have sex, you're obviously going to have to start touching the girl. And there's like I said, there's also a lot of like really cool techniques on how to keno, which I like, awesome stuff. I'm not going to tell you any of them because you guys can go out and find them yourselves. But to escalate, you got to start touching the girl. Really important. And also sometimes when you run out of things to say and stuff starts getting boring, just by like touching her and stuff like that, it can really like make it on again, and it can save the set from you. A story actually that I have about the shit test passing, I kind of forgot about it, or I wanted to bring this one up, is when I came back from Sweden one summer to my friends, and like I'd been working on this stuff for a long time, I was like, damn, it's time to show off all these skills to my friends. It's gonna be awesome. And my friend, she had a girlfriend at the time, and she had a friend. I was like, watch this, man. And like I start talking to her, and she's like, giving me the cold shoulder. She's not having it, whatever. We go back into my car, to have our little conference or whatever. And he's like, yeah, dude, whatever, forget it, forget her. You don't need her. Let's just go away. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? She's just like shit testing me. It's all good in the hood. And like, watch this. And we went back out, and we started hooking up. Me and this girl, we went down to her basement, and my friend and his girlfriend came along, and things like started heating up. And my friend and his girlfriend leave. And clothes start coming off, whatever. And I pick her up and I take her to like, she had an office in the room, and like she's straddling me like in a thong, and I like, my shirt is off. I was naked, and the lights are off, and we're like, getting it on. And all of a sudden the lights come on, and I thought it was my friend. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, turn that shit off. We're about to hook, and it's her mom. It's her mom, and I'm like, we're about to. And then in my mind, I was like still in that like shit test mode. Like, I don't want to call it like something you switch off and on, just like part of you, but I was like still in shit test mode. So my brain was like, this is just a shit test. It's a shit test, man. Just like, be unreactive. Say something funny to diffuse the situation. And like in my head, I was like, just like ask her if she wants to join. That's cool. Like everybody laughed at that. I didn't do it. I don't get props on that. I didn't bust it out. I think I like started pretending. I was like, who are you? And I was like, you are my girlfriend. Like, oh my God, what am I doing here? Like, where's my shirt? She runs out, her mom's screaming at her in some like other language. And I'm like walking around, right? And I walk into my friend's room where he's sitting with his girlfriend. And my friend was literally going like this. He's like, and I walk in, and I think I made some like, I think I started like talking nonsense with his girlfriend. I was like, you're a bad girl, blah, 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 like with his girlfriend. And then my friend's like, dude, do you know what the fuck is going on? Like, do you ever turn this shit off? And like, apparently her dad was like in this midlife crisis where he was like buying a motorcycle, and he had like rifles on the wall and shit. And we didn't stick around to find out like what that was all about. We just like out the window, literally out the window, like got out of there. So yeah, I mean, I guess that story was relevant because I did pass her shit test, but I think the whole situation was just completely, ridiculous. And it was a lot of fun. I ultimately, as doing this, I'm not really in it for the girlfriend. I mean, I do love girls, and like, it's really important not to become one of those guys that enjoys chasing women You have to learn how to enjoy women, like, as a person. Because, like, something that I realized when I didn't have the skills, I couldn't stay with one girl because I would always feel like I can probably do better than her. I could never be satisfied because I never chose my girlfriend, and I would always be like, no, I can do better, and it would like ruin my relationships. And then when I got a little better, I'd be like, no, like, I can get a better skill set. Fuck it, like, I need to chase women. That's what I need to do. I need to, like, get more women, and I lose a lot of relationships that way too. You got to learn how to enjoy women, and that's a learned skill set as well. You know, on like wrapping it up, I guess the friends that are really important, something that I actually thought about today, Braddock's speech when he was like, you know, those frat guys that are like my brothers, and you can just like smell or see the like insecurity like in their eyes. Sometimes you'll come across some dudes from the community, and they're like, the community, man, dude, that's what it's all about, like, and they'll be like hardcore in the lingo, and like they'll use all the like latest terms, and they'll be so hardcore into this shit, and you know, you don't want to be one of those guys either. Like, I love all this stuff. I love the lingo. I love doing it. Like I said, I can't concentrate if I'm not going out. But yeah, just it's the women, man. You're not doing it to like learn lingo or, you know, learn techniques. You're doing it because you want the girl. You want to be able to enjoy it and like human beings, right? And that's ultimately what you all should be striving. Like, that's what I strive for, and I think it's a really healthy goal to strive for you guys as well. I don't know, you know, it's up to you. That's basically what I want to talk about, all the things that I want to wrap up. How are we doing on time?
You're doing fine. It's 7:45,
10, 15 minutes? No, I had some more stuff that I wanted to cover. Yeah. At this point, do you guys have any questions about anything? Go ahead, man.
Could you tell us about storytelling and enhancing stories?
Oh yeah. Storytelling, obviously, an awesome way to, you know, like give a fun vibe, you know, give value to an interaction, and you can DHV. I don't know, like I can't make DHV stories because I feel like I'll be showing off. I can't do it. Like, when I try to make DHV stories, I'll be like, do my Rolex, and then blah blah blah, like in the French Riviera, and like the best stories that I found are the stories that I just think are funny. It's just like funny shit. Like I'll tell this story like that I just told you to like girls and shit like that because it's just a funny story. Something that I learned also when you want to have a kick-ass story, dude, stretching the truth, it's not lying. Like, if you want to make it a little more interesting, like, oh, and then like after we jumped out the window, man, these cops, like, they were after us, but then like, yeah, we got away. You know, it was okay. I was about to get deported back to Europe, but I didn't. And you know, like, that's just funny. And you know, once in a while, you'll get like this one person like in the group, and they're like, that's not true. That's not true. There were no cops, like RoboCop. They're like, let's say something ridiculous that everybody knows it's a joke, right? Like, it's so far out there that it couldn't possibly be true. And you'll like try to call you out for it, and you just be like, because they want to like get you in that position where like, oh yeah, you're lying about what happened. And like, yeah, you're right. You can like, the way I do it, I was like, you're right. There weren't any cops chasing us. Like, there weren't any robot cops coming after us. I'm sorry, I deceived you all. I'm a horrible person, you know. It's just if a story's not all that great, dude, just sprinkle it up. It's like cooking. If it doesn't like if the food's a little off, just put a little salt on it. It's cool, like whatever. It's all good times. Anybody else? I saw another hand here. Yeah, go ahead, man.
You said you're really into MILFs and older women.
Yeah.
How do you go about that? Big question.
Oh, first of all, I think ever since I was a kid, like the first girl I told you about, she was 16, I was 14. Like the girl I first slept with, she was like 23, I was 17. So there's a trend, definitely. I gotta let you know though, I hit puberty like in 3rd grade. It's like just, they put something in that water. I've always been pretty tall, so everybody, even when I was like 17, people thought I was 20. I don't know if that's ever like helped me out, but I think you can either like go about it like 2 ways. The 2 ways that I've done it is you're either gonna be that like buff stallion guy that like, you know, she knows you're younger, you know you're younger, and you know what's up. Or, this has worked for me a couple of times when you're in a position when you'll be so much high value than her, and I'm not talking about like in a club high value. I'm talking like one girl, I was like her kickboxing instructor, and I was like the shit at kickboxing, and like I had like all the guys were under me. I was training all these guys and like these girls, and like she obviously respected me because I was good at what I did, and like that's what really got her into me. That's a little more like, you're gonna have to find that or like try to set that up, become good at something, become a yoga instructor, which, you know, that takes a lot of time. I think what you really wanna go for is that like young, playful guy. Just know that older women, they wanna fuck probably more like than younger girls do. I don't know, I've had that impression as of late. But you just go for it, and if she wants it, I'm pretty sure she'll let you know real quick. If she doesn't, then it's gonna be really awkward. But I mean, whatever, you walk away, breeze through it. Just talk to the older chicks. That's what I would have to recommend. Rock on.
What was this randomness exercise that you did before?
Oh, the drill, the randomness drill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah, do you guys want to see a demonstration? All right, can I get 3 guys up here? Yeah, man, come on. Oh wait, no, you've already been up for. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good point. Well, we only need 3, but let's do it 4 anyway. Let's just do it. Actually, I guess we only need 1, but all right, we're gonna do it anyway. This is how we did the exercise in the last summit. We'd split up the groups of 3, and it was supposed to like simulate the pressure of talking to other people. So I guess you could have been talking to me, but you're gonna be talking to these 2 guys. I'm gonna give you a topic, and you have to make it sound like the most incredible topic like in the world, and you just love it, and you have to make it fun. Like that's the most important part, and not give a shit. Like, no, he's talking to them, and they're listening, they're the chicks. And I can sense the vibe coming off. They're gonna throw some curveballs your way. All right, can we get a topic? Can we get a topic for somebody?
Popcorn.
We got vaginal lubricant over here. This is gonna be hard to beat, but can we get Pop-Tart? Let's get something more edgy. Grass.
Just like the regular. Emo.
Screwdrivers, I like that. It's edgy. I can feel it coming off. So screwdrivers, man. Talk about screwdrivers.
Oh man, screwdrivers, they are so edgy.
Right here, dude.
Man, talk to us. Guys, let me tell you, screwdrivers, holy shit. They come in all sorts of, you can fix all sorts of crazy
What
things.
about hammers?
Hammers, not as
Yeah.
interesting as screwdrivers.
Why not? Phillips head or flathead?
Hammer, all you do is you pound nails in, only nails. With screws, you can look at all the different heads that you can handle with with a screwdriver. You got the ones that go like that, and then like that, and like that, and then like, you know, they shape all sorts of different ways. And I think,
color?
What color? Fuck, I don't know. I mean, let's see. Usually silver, aren't they? Like the
I like
metal?
green. I like green.
You like green ones?
I like blue ones.
I think that's copper and that has cobalt.
No, I'm talking about the handle.
The handle?
Yeah, the handle. It's made of plastic usually.
That doesn't matter. What does it?
It does.
It has to match
It's
your
huge.
other tools.
I don't want
What
to
are you
get
talking to these guys about? Screwdrivers? Oh my God, I can tell. These chicks, they're the kind of girls that like green screwdrivers. Oh my God. Do you like green screwdrivers?
I like the blue ones, you're wrong.
You're a
It's all
blue?
good.
Oh, this girl's
Yeah,
trouble.
I
She
know,
likes the
and
blue.
so are you too.
How can we ever get along?
I don't know. I don't even know at all. You
Oh my
probably
God.
would like
You know
cause me
what?
to get into the back of a fucking
You know what? Let's go.
squad car.
Let's go. That's like, you handle it like that. See, what he was doing, like, this is the exercise, and he was just rambling on about screwdrivers. This was really, like, dude, that was good. Like, when I did it the first time, I was like I gurgled. That's what I did. I started gurgling. Like, ultimately, when they did throw, like, remarks your way, like, it just, dude, tell them, like, I love saying you're a bad girl. She'll be like, are you talking about screwdrivers? You'd be like, yeah. yeah, you're a bad girl. You know what I'm talking about. Like, it's fine. Who gives a shit? Let's one of you guys. You guys want to try it out?
Okay.
Let's get a topic.
Platypus.
Platypus.
Toilet paper.
Come on, you guys got the easy part. Just yell out words.
Wallpaper.
Wallpaper. Yeah, hell yeah. I did that wallpaper.
Have you ever walked in someone's room and the wallpaper just kind of freaks you out? Like I was with this girl last night and she had these little duckies and teddy bears on a wallpaper.
What color were
Totally
they?
thinking,
What
like,
color
that
were
she
they?
just put a color.
Yeah, were they green or blue? Or?
I like paints. Can you talk about paints?
Well, see, I was thinking about, what about just the top wallpapering? What do they call that? You know what I mean? Where they just have a
That's
little
like edging. Like
I think we
edging.
went out of style with kind of that. Wood paneling. That's kind of stylish. You know, like the inside of a boat, you just kind of do it up, and it's like, it gives a little class.
That's a nice
to it.
boat, yeah.
Not the fake wood paneling, though. It's got to be like the real wood panel.
I don't like that
You know what I
fake
mean?
shit.
That goes,
I agree with you
together.
there, yeah.
You're not a girl with
What about like stucco? What
No,
about like
I
for the
don't buy
ceiling and stuff like that?
She probably is.
See, when you guys come up with this sort of shit, like, now we're doing it in a room, right? But when you go out in like the real world and you do this, it's so absurd that like they'll be cracking up, like, you know, if you got a good vibe, they'll crack it up. But then you'll be like laughing at your own shit because you'll be like, you look like a Mexican wallpaper repairman or something like that. And you're like, but then I'm like, what the fuck did I just say? Oh my god, like, oh dude, you know. And it's just, for me, that's like the fun shit that I love to do. This exercise, you guys can like, for me it's a state pumper. You know, I'll do this like before I go out, if I'm feeling like shit or if I want to get into a talkative mood, like I'll just make up random shit about stuff.
Did a similar thing with some of my wings. We did any opener challenges where they'd give me any opener, and they had me open 2 fat chicks with "Do you like Slim Fast?"
The bet was I had to hook the set for, I believe, 3 minutes, and I got it. I got it hooked. It doesn't matter though sometimes, like what you're opening with.
Yeah.
As long as you just followed up.
Damn, that's edgy though. That's,
No, they looked at me, but then I did a follow-up story.
Yeah.
I was like, see, I'm trying out for this commercial. I need to lose some weight. And it worked out.
I wanted to ask you, fat guys. You must know a lot of diets.
a really key point here is being loud. Like coming, hey guys, what's up? Like water. I love water. Oh, it tastes so good. You know, like, because obviously they're gonna want to like comment on that shit, how weird it is, but just fucking like talk over them until like, you know, it gets into a good time. Calibrate. Obviously, you don't want to be just like that dude's plowing nonsense and nobody's liking it. You know, give them a chance to respond, but you want to have a really like powerful presence with this stuff. You come in strong, and you know, you throw it out there, make it happen. Somehow, I guess I like relating to the girl, like the wallpapers, right? I'll be like, I don't know, you and me, you know, we can get like wallpaper and then put the glue on it, and then we'll roll around together in the wallpaper, and like it'll stick to us. That'll be awesome. So shit like that, like you guys are doing it together, and then it's like, instead of doing the whole like, you're my girlfriend and we're gonna get married, like that's a new mix on, like, we'll start a company that makes wallpapers, and then like, we'll never get along and we'll divorce, and you know, you guys can take it from there. Awesome exercises, really helped me out with spontaneity, creativity, really important. That's really like made me start being able to talk to women.
You guys were great.
Yeah, give them a hand, guys, come on. You guys can take a seat. Right? Thanks a lot for coming up. Do you have any questions of that? Yeah.
All right, this isn't as silly as, you know, the earlier antics were. I like something you highlighted about, you know, saying that you are a man and that when you see a window, you got to take it.
Yeah.
I'm sometimes having like an issue, you know, now that I'm getting better at you know, just discussing and opening topics, and I feel so comfortable there. And I could relate what you were saying about, you know, you're on the top of the mountain, and
Yeah.
really, when you go home and she's not with you, you realize, oh fuck, I was like on the bottom of a hill, like.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what's the best way of analyzing the situation, like, and not blinding yourself to it, like with your own words, like trying to like make sure the conversation's going the right way, like just shut up, look at her, and you're like, kiss, boom, you know?
Yeah, how do you like really pull yourself out of that thing, sort of? There's this thing that's been going around forums right now. It's called like shock and awe. Are you guys familiar with that? Shock and awe, right? It's when you just like, the way I interpret it is like you start blaming the girl for, she looks so good. Like you can't take it. Like your brain's about to explode 'cause she's so hot. Or like, you don't even, like, I don't know, you can't control yourself because she's so beautiful. If you feel like the conversation is kind of staling out, and if you don't get that like chemistry going, just, you know, you can do that, or just give her like a compliment. I don't know, like don't like suck up to her, but like give her a compliment that's like kind of sexual in nature, or like some sort of,
Like you smell nice, you know?
yeah, something where like, damn, like just like step back and take a look at her and just be like, man, when I saw you at the club, I was, dude, I'm so scared right now. You make me so scared. Like obviously in the playful, like, look at my hands. Like that. Oh, like the way you look right now, shit. But I could tell, like, I wasn't even like, am I even allowed to talk to you? Like, cause you look like one of those girls. I'm like, what kind of girls? I'm like, you know what kind of girl. The Mexican salesman girl. I don't know, like, you know, the sushi kind of girl. I don't know. That's, you know, if you really feel it's staling out, and I've had girls like that have been really into me, and like this one Belgian girl, it was all like awesome. Like I met her, we were really connecting, and she told me like, oh man, conversations I have in bars with guys are so boring because like they talk about like logical shit, and me and her were talking about like midget porn or something like that. And then, you know, we're having this really fun time, and like she kept coming back to me like night after night after night, and I just couldn't get myself, like I escalated once, I tried to go in for it, whatever. She was like, no. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll just guess I'll come in under, like I'll be so cool, I'll overwhelm her with my value and coolness, and then she'll come to me. You know, so I kind of like leaned away, which I guess was appropriate at the time because my girlfriend was like right behind us in the bar. So, you know, you're gonna have to calculate. Like she was cool with me, like gaming other girls. She knew what I was doing. But yeah, going back to this, I tried it. She like rejected me, and then I tried to come in like under the radar or whatever. Second night, like, first night, okay, cool. Second night, like she came up to me again, you know, like, yeah, we're having a conversation, midget porn, whatever. Third night, like I came up to her, she's like, psh. I knew it, she knew it, like there was no tension there. She wanted me to go for it. Like in retrospect, it's like if she put up a sign, like zebra, take me now, like I want the zebra. You know, it couldn't have been more obvious, but just because like she had that initial like, you know, no, I completely gave up, and I lost like a really hot chick because of that. Push yourself, just go for it. If you feel like you're staling out, remember you have nothing to lose. Just do it. Just go do it.
Staling out, or like the window is open to take it up a notch?
If the window's like, when the window opens, that's like the money time to do it, and like your rates of success are highest. But like if the window passes and she's still, dude, as long as she's talking to you, if you ask me, the window's open. As long as she's like staying there and not like excusing herself. Obviously, like to some point, there'll be politeness. But if she's talking to you, dude, according to me, she's into you. The window's there. She'll, you know, she's a big girl. If you're freaking her out or creeping her out, whatever, with your like approaches, she'll leave. Don't worry about it. Like let her think about that. You just.
No, that just happened to me recently because I was with a manager at work, and I was like, we left, we were like by ourselves, and I was like, bro, I've never been with any girl in a room with like in this job. And I was like, that was my fucking window.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like walking there and talking to her, and I'm like, well, I can't kiss her out here. There's like security cameras. I was like,
Yeah.
that was it.
It's like somebody grabbing your nuts, right, and like squeezing because you hate that.
I just number closed. I was like, I'm going to Orlando. We talked about it. And I was like, when I come back, I'll pick you up. She's like, okay.
When a girl blows you off, it's fine. You can deal with that. But when a girl wants you, and you don't, like, it's your fault. Something else that I want to bring up. I've been going out for about a year now, and there'll be times when like I'll be going out, and nothing will happen. Like it'll seem like I'm not improving at all. Like it's just I'll be going out doing the same cool, funny little quirky things, you know, awesome. But for whatever reason, nothing will be happening. Dude, if you want to get good at this and like get money at this, those are the times you're gonna have to push it out. I have a lot of guys that I know, and I call them fallen soldiers. For whatever reason, they're like, no, man, no, the community corrupts you. You have to get out of it before it like destroys you. Dude, if you come into something corrupted and like jaded, then obviously, you know, you're gonna think that like, oh, this is gonna help me, but then it doesn't, and then like, oh, this is the source of my corruption. And having fun with this is what really helps you stick it out. Like when you hit those like really long, desolate periods when you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like am I just deceiving myself, or what's the deal here? That's when you really like, you gotta want it. You gotta have that leverage that I talked about, and you just gotta keep pushing and going out. Really important. How much time we got?
You have another 5, 6, 7 minutes.
All right, I'll just wrap it up with this then. The way I learned the game was in clubs. In Europe, you have to be 18, 16 to get into clubs, 18 to drink, 21 means nothing. I think you can drive when you're 20. You know, it's like the complete opposite. I have like gone back to college and with my friends visiting here, and the way that I like do my club game and like all that, and, like the way I approach women there, and like I kept telling my friends, like, dude, just man up, like just talk about the fun like gibberish stuff, whatever. And they're like, dude, we're trying, but it's not working. I was like, shut up, you're not trying, like just being a wimp. And then I went there, and dude, it's completely like, at least the college like town that I went to, that stuff Braddock was talking about, man, that stuff is money for you guys that are going to college. Because the club game and the college game, it's not super different. Like if you have tight game in a club, you're gonna have tight game wherever you go. That's just a fact. But like, it is different. And what I was talking about here today, I want you guys to take away from it like the mentalities of like setting those goals, like going out, and then you know, the fun conversation. You can do that anywhere. I do that at bus stops. Now I do it in the subway station. And I don't do that. Do you like chicken or fish? You know, like, I do the fun conversations that aren't weird. You can do that in your like while you're using the stuff that Red Hawk was talking about. You know, just adopt these like principles, like of setting the goals, getting the leverage, having the fun conversation. Like while you're amassing your Navy SEAL army, like he was saying, you know, have a fun conversation about like the whatever thing you want to talk about. You know, when you're all going for the girl, when you have like your social proof or whatever, you know, when you want to escalate, do it. You know, remember the barriers you have yourself, like the little mountaintop and the kino. Whatever. I think that's what I wanted to get out to you guys. I really hope that you know you get what you want out of this convention, and that it really helps you reach what you want to reach. Best of luck to all you guys. I'll see you out tonight and during the weekend.